there's a lot of reason to start to believe in the momentum that I'm feeling from afar. And look, I don't have any connections. I'm not pretending to know or know where he's going to go. But it's starting to feel like a realistic possibility that the Yanks lose Juan Soto, and that, to me, would be a disaster for the Yankees.
Well, I mean, listen, there's reporting, and then there's speculation that's going to generate some clicks because these people aren't dumb. They know what everybody wants to read. They want to read something about Juan Soto. So until I actually see a news element, okay. I mean, listen, I know he's meeting with teams, Sal.
Right.
This was never about the Yankees have to, you can't leave the confines of the Bronx. He's going out. He's chasing every penny. Fly out to L.A., meet the Mets, meet the Dodgers. Not the Dodgers necessarily, but they could. Certainly the Boston Red Sox.
Yeah.
The list is 7 or 8. Maybe the Giants do jump back in. This is all stuff that we knew. I mean, Juan Soto was going hunting for the biggest contract in North American sports history. And he's going to have at least, I would say, 4 incredibly willing partners to spend. But so it's not a surprise. And I've also said that now I prefer Soto's back. I've said that first. But I've also said that there's multiple ways to build the team. So, what's plan A? It's Soto and then somebody else. What's plan B? Well, there's very different versions to that. But the Yankees have a lot of work to do, and they've got a lot of teams to fend off. And until somebody swoops in and actually announces that Juan Soto was signed, in my mind, he ain't going anywhere.
Right, but here's the thing. It's more realistic. And, I felt this way a year ago. So certainly I'm going to believe that I've said this, again, a long time ago. I think he's going to the Mets. I felt that all along. And it's not just about the finances. I mean, that's obviously a number one thing. I think Soto really wants that. But what if there's something to be said about the way that the Mets are operating under Steve Cohen? Like, would you say that the Mets are a fun organization this season?
This year they were. Yeah,
right,
this year they were.
And would you say the owner seems like a guy who, I mean, whether you think it's good or bad, he does seem to talk with his players quite a bit and want to be maybe, not that he wants to be one of the guys, but down on the field a lot and visible and a friendly type owner and having guys at his house for parties and stuff like that, right?
I would say that he's emotionally invested more so than the average owner.
Okay,
sure,
right.
No doubt about it.
And then the Yankees, and this is not a knock, I'm just giving you the reality of the situation. The Yankees have the greatest prestige in the history of sport, not just the sport, of sport, like 27 championships. We know about the Yankees and the legends and all that stuff. But there is a rigid, robotic, buttoned up feel to the Yankees, whether it's the facial hair polish, whatever it may be. I'm not saying that they don't have fun, the guys on the team individually, but there's something to that type of environment versus the looser,
I agree,
maybe more fun type of environment that the Mets have. Maybe Juan Soto likes that as well.
He might, but he might not. See, that's why I say there's reporting and then there's speculation that's rooted in conversations that aren't necessarily, sourced stories. But, hey, I heard he might be thinking this. Or, I can see him in Queens. They're a loose group. And it looks like, maybe I heard from somebody that played with Juan Soto 3 years ago that's he's intrigued by Queens. I'm not refuting anything that you're saying. And, by the way, the Yankee stuff, when you have this prestige and you have this historical aura, there's going to be, right or wrong, a more identifiable pecking order of power. And, whereas whether it's ownership just being a little bit more detached from the players, which is not a bad thing. But if you have an owner like Cohen who is motivated to spend and who has created a looseness without, at least this past year, without compromising the actual product on the field.
Right.
I mean, would that be appealing to me as a modern athlete? Sure.
Right.
Of course it would.
I mean, as an individual, forget about modern athlete, as an individual. Because I was thinking about that coming in. You start reading this stuff and you're thinking, okay, well, and this is part of the equation to thinking why Soto would leave the Yankees for the Mets. And we all knew at the time that he's going to want a lot of money. That wasn't a secret. He signed on with Boras. He's turned down, $400 million contract or whatever it was with the Nationals. So we knew that he was going to be chasing the bottom dollar. But if both things are equal, I think there was this thought, and myself included, if everything's equal, he's probably going to stay with the Yankees. Well, maybe not so sure. Maybe the Mets have to come up a little bit, but maybe what the Mets can offer is the less buttoned up, more loosened, and more fun environment with an owner who's more hands-on / player-friendly and less rigid than maybe the Yankees are structured. Maybe that's something, I don't know. I never met Juan Soto, so I don't know, but I'm starting to I believed it a year ago. Now I'm starting to know that he's leaving the Yankees.
Well, okay, so let's get back to the very structured ways of the Yankees, right?
Yeah.
Which definitely has been a real thing over the years. I think it's loosened a bit. Look at Juan Soto and what he does in the batter's box, right? The Soto shuffle and the showboating. And look at Jazz Chisholm, who wears his hat hanging off his head like Elmer Fudd.
It's definitely loosened up.
There's
with
no
the
question.
bit,
That's my point. Like, I understand that there's an association with the facial hair and the Yankees policies and a bit of a throwback, at times stuffy way. But I don't think that that's nearly as present as it once was. Now, I also don't know what, outside of money, I don't know what Juan Soto's looking for. Does he want the looseness? He might. Does he want the connection to the greatest names in the history of baseball? He might. He might not care about Babe Ruth. He might not care about Mickey Mantle or Joe DiMaggio. He might not care about Cohen having people over his crib to look at artwork. I know that he wants to win, and I know that he wants every penny. So those are the two determining factors. Now, relationships on the team. Lindor's supposed to be recruiting.
Yeah.
I don't minimize that. I think that's somewhat important. I mean, is he closer to or could he be closer to Lindor than Judge? Anything's possible. I don't know, but there's a reason why the other day I said, listen, if you're going to give him and I say you, not the Mets. I mean any team, the Red Sox, the Dodgers, the Mets, the Giants, whomever. You want him for 15 years, take him. I won't even put my hands up and fight. You want him for 14 years, take him. Now we're in the 12, 13 year range. All right, now we're gonna haggle over some money and make sure we try to keep him in the Bronx. But I think that there's a perception that the Yankee. Well, I shouldn't speak for. I'll speak for myself. That I'm going to be, as a Yankee fan, it's like some lost soul in the universe without Juan Soto. They didn't win with Juan Soto.
Right.
And Juan Soto, that's going to be an awful contract down the road because he can't run and he can't field. I love him to stay. If he doesn't, he doesn't.
I think.
No, honestly.
I think you're preparing yourself.
Coping. I swear to God, Sal.
They did win with him, though. They got to the World Series.
I understand
they were the best team in the American League.
Now, don't you think, because it's funny, we were talking about the Knicks yesterday and still like the DiVincenzo and the Hartenstein hangover. When I'm committed, like when I'm connected to a guy, like I was defending Zach Wilson probably a little bit too much because I thought maybe he could be the guy and the tantalizing arm and all the things we saw on film. Like, so when I'm in on somebody. I love Juan Soto. He's a great all-time hitter. He's also incredibly deficient in multiple aspects of the game. I want him to stay, but I'm telling you, I'm looking you right in the eyes. I swear to God, if he goes, all right, he goes.
And, but the Yankees are going to be worse off for it. And I guess
not
that was
necessarily,
my point.
Sal. No, from a PR perspective, there's no doubt they're going to get hit.
I don't think Teoscar Hernandez, Bregman, Walker, the Yankees aren't going to be better than they were without Soto.
And you give me Christian Walker, and I don't want to get too much away from Soto. I don't want to dilute it. But if you give me, there is an avenue. You give me Walker, you give me Bregman, you give me Hernandez, you give me Sasaki, you give me the pitcher, whatever, you make the trade for Crochet. There is a way to be better. I firmly believe that. Now, I'd rather not explore that. I would rather have him come back.
And then.
That's the old Yankee way. But I'm also of the mindset now of the volition that they're not going to operate that way. So if they're changing how they operate, I'm kind of changing how I see the game. And while Soto in front of Judge is all time, he's a wreck in the outfield.
Right.
And why did the Yankees lose the series against the Dodgers? They couldn't catch the ball, and they couldn't run the bases.
BT and Sal on the Fan. Our friends at Tower Fair.
I know you still don't believe me, by the way. I see that smile.
Well,
you think I'm coping. I promise I'm not.
You may not be coping. That's fine. I do believe that what you're saying is true. I'm smiling because I think Soto wants to be a Met. I think Soto wants to be a Met. I've had that gut feel all this time, and now it's becoming close to being a reality. In a couple of weeks, it may be a reality. Juan Soto is going to be a New York Met, and Steve Cohen will be crowned king, and I can't wait for it. I'll come back from vacation. I don't care if it's Christmas time or not. Hey, Ma, hold that shrimp. I don't care. I'm coming in. I got to talk with BT here on the Fit. All right, our friends at Town Fair Tire remind you that at Town Fair Tire, you always get the guaranteed lowest price on name brand tires from Connecticut to Maine. Nobody beats Town Fair Tire. Nobody. Larry's in Hillsborough, New Jersey. What's up, Larry?
Hey, what's going on, guys? Awesome show.
Thank you.
Sal.
Yeah.
Listen, dude.
Yeah.
So, Juan Soto will never be a Met. He doesn't like loser organizations, dude. He doesn't want to go there. He's a mercenary. He's going to get the most money, obviously, but he'll never be a Met, dude.
Well, what?
Never.
Well, wait.
Get
okay.
it through your head.
Well,
Sal.
hold on, Larry. Let's just talk this out for a second. If you say, and I tend to agree, that Juan Soto wants the most money, he's a mercenary, as you say. Do you not think the Mets can offer the most money, Larry?
Yeah.
Oh.
But he's not going to go to the Mets.
Well, what if
He's
they offer the
never
most
gonna go
money?
to the Mets.
Larry, you're contradicting yourself. You just said he was going to go take the most money, and I asked you a simple question.
And the Yankees are going to give him the most money.
Oh, okay. There's a bold prediction. Yeah, okay, but the Mets, the Mets have a richer owner, right, Larry?
Oh, that doesn't. Okay, that's fine, but he doesn't like losers. He's not going to the Mets.
Larry, all right, thanks for the call, man. You petered out there, you came on strong, and then Sal just rode right over you, and he didn't even have to get loud to do it. So, I mean, which is interesting. Which speaks to either delusion or incredible confidence. I'm not sure. I'm thinking it's the latter. Actually, I do. I know he's confident. Here's the deal. To inject emotion into this. And say, he's not going to the Mets. Mets are losers. You've never once heard me say that. I think that's ridiculous. I really do. Because I also thought there was a point when, now I'm happy it didn't happen because it didn't work out. But I remember saying, there is no way Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are going to go to Brooklyn over the stage of the Garden.
Right.
There's no chance in hell that's happening. Athletes have evolved in what they want and what they need and what they pursue. So if you want to tell me that he doesn't want, like, practical baseball reasons, he's not going to leave because him and Soto, the protection that Judge provides is tremendous, or the history of the Yankees, or he loved playing for Boone, or real reasons, if that's true, that you can put, that's one thing. But to say that he's not going to the loser Mets, you sound like you're 10 years old and you lose in the fight in the schoolyard, the rank out fight. Yeah. You got to be better than that.
And I wouldn't even entertain that thought. You never have said that.
I haven't said that once.
Yeah, and there was a point where the Mets were struggling that, okay, well, they're not going to look as appealing, of course.
That I definitely said.
Yes, but that's different from saying he's not going to the loser Mets. The Mets went to the NLCS this year. I got news for you. The Mets beat the Dodgers twice. The Yankees didn't do that. And that's not to say like, oh, Mets versus Yankees, but to call them losers is just not, it's just not accurate.
That's a low-hanging fruit.
Yeah, and also you contradict yourself when you're saying, well, I think he's going to take the most money, and he doesn't want to go to the loser team. Well, which is it? Is he going to take the most money? Because I'd be willing to bet that the Mets are going to have the highest offer. And the question is going to become, is he going to choose the Mets? The biggest question, BT, and debate that you and I have constantly had over the course of a year plus now has been how much of a difference is it going to have to be for the Mets to overpay the Yankees?
I call it the Mets tax. 100%. Right. That is the root of the conversation.
And now I'm not even so sure that it's got to be that much.
I still do.
Where in the beginning I was saying, all right, well like would 20
I got numbers for you. Let me ask you this.
Okay, yeah.
Because we're thinking the same thing. If the Mets offer 6, do the Yankees match? 600.
Probably, yes.
If the Mets offer 650, do the Yankees match?
I still think the Yankees get to that number.
I do too, and this is where I might not be sure. If it gets to 7, do the Yankees tap out?
I don't think the Yankees go to 7.
They might. Meaning they might not. I kind of agree with you.
But now we're starting to get to murky territory. And if the Mets go to 750, there's no chance. Like the Yankees,
and I wouldn't want them to at that point.
I'm just saying, whatever, that's fine. But the Yankees may go to 7. And I'm saying that even if the Mets go to 725 and the Yankees go to 7, like I just have had this feel that Juan Soto likes the Mets for some reason.
Okay, but what is that based on?
Maybe it was time in the National League. Maybe
I thought the Jets were going to be good. That was my feel.
Understood.
Well, based on what? Because I know you need them.
The way their organization is, maybe he likes those. I don't know. Again, this is just my feel. Remember there was rumor and speculation 2 years ago, and maybe it stems from that.
His brother or something? I do.
Yeah, there was connection. So maybe it stems from that.
Okay. All right. I remember that.
It's not just like blind, like, oh, he loves the Mets more than the Yankees. No, but there was something there.
About 4 years ago that popped out. I remember that story, yep.
Greg is in Rahway. What's up, Greg?
That young man's moved to the Bronx since, by the way. He's
correct.
Morning, Sal, BT.
Greg.
What's up, Greg?
Yeah, I called in the springtime. I thought they wouldn't sign him then to an extra year because of the owner, Hal. He's cheap. So I'm figuring they're going to let him go. The only thing I was thinking, if you try to make an attempt, give him 5 years for like $70 million.
Yeah, I've offered. That's a little bit too much here, but I've offered, a lot for for fewer years. But hold on a sec, Greg. So you say, this is what's unfair to Hal Steinbrenner. All right, we can micro criticize and say he's not like his dad, which is true. But you just said he's cheap. What payroll did the Yankees have this year?
Yeah, I mean he's not
what was
cheap,
it?
Greg.
Do you know? Come on, Greg.
He does that only because he signed Judge. What do they do to Judge?
Dude,
they try to give him $200 million. They had to give him $365.
Yeah, but come on, Greg.
Cheap. He's not going to double up on Judge.
But that's different than saying that he won't go to that degree for Soto That's one thing, and he might not. Saying that he's cheap is just statistically, it's completely false.
Yeah, factually inaccurate.
Come on.
He's not cheap.
Based on payroll.
He's not cheap, but he continues to reference the luxury tax threshold.
He's aware.
Yeah, and
that's the word.
The Yankees also did not have the highest offer for Judge, which was another talking point when it came to Soto, was that the Yankees didn't have to have the highest offer to retain Judge.
That's what I always say. That's a good spot to be in. People say that like it's a bad thing.
Understood.
No, that's a good thing.
Understood. I don't think that's going to be the case when it comes to Soto.
I tend to agree with that.
Right, so, and we felt that way all along. I feel that way even. And now, look, I could be proven wrong. It has happened before, but it may be a different animal here than it was with Judge. And the fact that the Yankees didn't have the highest bid for Judge, to me, is telling. Yeah, it worked out well that they didn't have to go to the extent that maybe the Giants or the Padres were going to, but it's telling. When have the Yankees gotten outbid, especially for one of their guys that they wanted? That, to me, was an issue. Jaden is in a story. What's up, Jaden?
Listen, guys, Juan Soto's not going anywhere. It's clear as day. Scott Boras has all the AL East teams and the crosstown rivals. He's using them as leverage. Juan Soto, his Instagram, full of Yankee stuff. He's not going anywhere. Sal, get over it.
Well, get over what? I mean, it's not over yet.
Get over the dream, bro. It's over.
No,
Forget about it.
Jaden, it's not a dream. Jaden,
worry about Pete.
Jaden, hold on. Jaden, it's not a dream. It's a reality. Juan Soto.
Bro,
what happened?
Well,
no, Jaden, hold on. Is Juan Soto a Yankee right now?
He's not, but
okay. Hold on. We're gonna do one at a time.
He didn't wipe it out like Glaber did.
We'll do one at a time. Okay. Juan Soto was not a Yankee right now, so we agree on that. Did Hal Steinbrenner talk about re-signing, and maybe you could enlighten me, Jaden, or maybe I'll enlighten you. Did he talk about extending Soto in season like months ago when Soto was hot? Do you remember that conversation at all?
Of course. He was playing the season
and what happened?
all season.
And what happened? He didn't extend. He didn't extend and sign. And then, Jaden, let me just ask you one more before we let you go, and I really do appreciate you taking the time to give us a call today. Who's the richer owner? Who's the richer owner? Is it Hal or is it Steve Cohen, Jaden? What's the answer?
I mean, the richest owner, he missed out on Ohtani. He missed out on Yamamoto.
What's the answer, Jaden?
Yankees,
he didn't miss out on Ohtani. Ohtani didn't want to come.
Yankees, you offered Yamamoto more per year.
Oh, here we
go. That's true. Highest AAV. Check. Yankees.
Yeah, they didn't offer the most total. The Mets did. The
Mets didn't offer the most. They offered comparable to the Dodgers.
No, they offered the most. 325.
No, it was the same exact.
Yeah, well, right.
Well,
okay, but it was right. They were tied for first.
Well, yes. But that's not sitting in first place by yourself.
So of three teams, there were two that were tied for first. The Yankees were not one of them.
You know what you're doing? You're doing something that I've done before on the show. You're setting yourself up.
Hey, I believe it's going to happen. Well, here's the idea. It may not happen, sure, right? But let's not make it like it's not a reality.
Yeah,
I'm
not doing that.
I'm hearing, not you, BT, because I don't think you're a scared Yankee fan, and you're realistic about this. Like, you know that it's possible.
Yeah.
But I'm hearing so far from some of the callers early on today, they're scared. You're scared because it's becoming a reality. What you once thought was a Sal dream is now becoming a reality. Soto may be leaving the Bronx for Queens.
I'll tell you, damn right, man.
I'm having fun today.
Dude, I don't care if I have, neck deep in seafood salad and, 3 scallops and a couple of shrimps getting ready to be devoured on Christmas Eve. He signs with the Yankees on Christmas Eve.
Fire us up from home.
Santa. Yeah. I don't care if I have 3 bottles of wine in me. I'm going to Uber into this station, and we are doing a show.
One of us is going to be in particular. If he ever stays with the Yankees, I'm screwed. All right, BT and Sal on the Fan. More of your calls on the inside. We'll get plenty of football in.